Welcome to Cable 15 TV, Sports Unleashed, an NBS production, Facebook Live. Sports Unleashed every Monday night at 6 p.m. is brought to you by, and in part, by the Jackson's Funeral Home, the 1900 block of Malcolm Avenue. Our family serving your family, the Jackson way. Program also brought to you by the Thompson Wilson Funeral Homes of McCrory and Wynn. Sports Unleashed, the Jackson's Funeral Home. A life well lived is worth remembering. Merchants of Planters Bank, your hometown bank in Newport with 2 locations to serve you. Downtown Newport at Highway 367 North, out on the highway. Member FDIC. Unity Health, Harris Medical Center, Newport, Arkansas. Helping bring you all sports programming, including Sports Unleashed and Greyhound football and basketball. Subway in the Walmart Supercenter, thanks to the Sampson family. Sports Unleashed is also brought to you by Two Chicks Florist and more. They bring you the birthday report each and every Monday night. Flowers, gifts, holiday decorating. We're located at 1014 Malcolm Avenue in Newport. And also the Bank of England Mortgage Company, member FDIC, equal housing lender, Kenny Thaxton and Sally Law. Customized Vision Care in the Newport Village Mall, 523-3333, presents a look back. Program also brought to you by Fathead Pizza Company. That's one word and it's all caps for the best pizza, best salad, best sandwiches in the world. Give them a call at 201-1313. They'll have your order ready. At 512-8429 for Ben Black. You need dirt work, you need gravel work, you need sprinkler system work, you need something done, give Ben Black a call at that number. Like a good neighbor, Andrew Roach is there, State Farm Insurance Agent, 495-2024. Great food, great service, and Mexican food that is second to none at El Puente Mexican Restaurant in Newport. White River Health System and WRMC Medical Complex in Newport. Big sponsor of Greyhound Sports here on Cable Channel 15 TV. And the Delta Manufacturing Company, Delta Trailer Manufacturing since 1971, celebrating 50 years in the business. Delta Trailer Manufacturing. Diaz Scrap Metal, located on Highway 367 north of Newport. If you've got metal to sell, we've got money to pay. Farmers Tire Mart, 1501 Malcolm Avenue, where the rubber meets the road. If you need tires or service work on your automobile, give us a call. Kenny Fletcher, Fletcher Land Surveying, 223rd Street, Newport, 523-5625. And if you need your heating and air conditioning system worked on, Temp Pro, Sam Laster Jr. and John Laster, 827-3213. C&M Ag Depot at 2900 Highway 367 north of Newport, 523-6766, your Carhartt Clothing Company. Sports Unleashed coming your way. Up next, here on Facebook Live, Cable 15 TV. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Sports Unleashed here on Cable Channel 15 and Facebook Live. Kind of a little different show tonight. We are going to be showing you most of, in its entirety, a video that we did back in 2015, which was called 25 Years of Greyhound Greatness. It's an outstanding video. There's lots of interviews that we have on this video, lots of pictures, lots of fun stuff. It ought to be an exciting video to watch, but a little bit different twist on Sports Unleashed than that. But before we get to it, I want to do the birthday report brought to you by Two Chicks Florist and More. The garden center is wide open, ready to go. You need some mulch, they can do all that, plus the gift department. Two Chicks Florist and More in Newport, and Jenna and all the crew doing a great job down there. They bring you the birthday report. Happy birthday today to Brad Davidson, to Ronnie Jeffrey. Happy birthday to Becky Durham, John Lewis Hutchison. Dorsey Mingo has a birthday today, as does Spencer Shannon. And also later on this week, a very special happy birthday tomorrow to my good friend Lynn Miner Hare. Matt Duval with a birthday later this week. Linda Miller with a birthday. Chastity Patterson has a birthday, as does Blake Anschultz. Also, Molly Welch. Rick Coleman from over in Jonesboro with a birthday this coming week. Zach Hopkins. Happy birthday to my good friend Margaret Goodman. David Hahn with a birthday. Ryan McGoy, both a couple of Greyhound quarterbacks right there. Devontae Armstrong with a birthday. Mitch Reed, former Greyhound Clay Young also. Crystal Taylor and Kevin Pierce, all with birthdays this week. Great video coming up, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. It's 25 years of Greyhound greatness, and it's coming right up.
Hi everybody, I'm Bud Black and welcome to legendary Greyhound Field. So much has taken place here down through the years, and we have a special program that we've put together to honor the Newport Greyhounds of the past 25 seasons. They have been a central focal point of all the excitement in Newport and Jackson County in those past 2.5 decades. Now, nobody can match the success of 25 consecutive playoff appearances by the Greyhounds. It not only is a continuing record, it is the longest in history, the history of playoffs in the state of Arkansas. And on our program here, you'll see and hear some amazing things that perhaps you have never seen in your life. You'll hear from former Greyhound football coaches. David went to all over the state to visit with many of the coaches who have been involved in the 25-year streak, and we'll have interviews with them. And by the way, David conceived this idea for this special program, and he and Ben have spent countless man-hours putting it together. They just looked at tons of video and pictures and had to choose and then edit and put it all together, and we think it's going to be an outstanding program. And before we get started, a special thanks also to all of our great assistant football coaches down through the years, and especially longtime former assistants Herbert Lewis, Richie Mathis, and Kenny Black. Not many schools have ever been blessed to have a group of coaches who have stayed together as a group for decades, and a group of guys who love the kids and the kids love them, and that's everything, and Newport was blessed with those three. It's a rather long show, but we think it's a very interesting show, and I'd hate for you to get up and walk away and miss any of it. It could have been twice as long. One of the hardest parts was editing, to having to leave out a lot of great material, but we have a bunch of tremendous material. Well, there's a lot to show you, so let's get started with our look at 25 years of great success by the Newport Greyhounds. In 1994, a Greyhound father who at the time wished to remain anonymous gave the following letter to me, and it details many of the things that are special about being a Greyhound player or a fan. Now remember, a father wrote this, and it certainly comes from his heart. It was told that a car with Illinois license plate stopped for gas at a Newport service station. The driver, an elderly gentleman, had noticed upon entering Newport that something special was going on. There was a lot of excitement. He asked the attendant, well, what does all this mean? Who are the hounds? Well, it's hard to explain to someone what this means if they've never had the fortune to feel it. It means orange and black streamers hanging from the courthouse, banners flying, windows of businesses painted to show the hounds' encouragement, car windows turned into mobile billboards, signs and marquees flashing "Go Greyhounds," balloons flying from the banks, headlines and pictures in the Independent, coaches shows and ads on KNBY, KOKR, the Riverboat Trader, and Bud David and Jane Black and Galen Farmer on Greyhound TV. It means thousands at Little Rock's War Memorial Stadium, never quitting, never quiet. But it means more than just that. It means mothers and grandmothers wearing orange and black with the pride of a Paris original. Little girls in cheerleader uniforms and boys dreaming of wearing that orange helmet. Cheerleaders working hard to keep the spirit going and to whippets hours of practice for a 4-minute super quality show, then joining the cheerleaders to unite the crowd. Also, it's the band bringing prideful shows at halftime and always ready at the games, pep rallies, and send-offs with a fight song. A school board, administration, and faculty that have helped fashion community support for the school the Greyhounds represent. It means restaurant owners buying Booster Club sandwiches when the activity cuts into their own sales. It means businesses helping when called on with projects. A community that appreciates its young people's positive efforts in any endeavor. It's during the playoffs on Thanksgiving morning that brings out hundreds of fans, parents, and former wearers of that orange hat to watch practice when the Hounds are deep in the playoffs and enjoy the unity of our town. It means parents of 60-plus boys amazed that their child, who lacks discipline and concentration to pick up his own room, will work in the winter, spring, and summer with the knowledge that this is what it takes to get the chance to win. It's also daddies that realize that there are men that their sons look up to other than themselves, and daddies that are so thankful that it's these very special men that coach them that have this influence on their sons. It means the satisfaction that so early in life these young men learn that to reach a goal, it's not what's done in the game only, but all the hours of workout and practice beforehand. It means hugs and tears. It means a senior's mom and dad realizing their son will never again wear that orange hat, but holding hard to every memory, happy and sad, that they have their only regret being that it's over. Knowing that next year they'll still be there at their regular spot pulling for the Greyhounds. So, who are these Hounds? Well, simply a bunch of knuckleheads and knotheads that these miracle workers called coaches have organized and motivated into a team in the fullest meaning of the word. What does it mean? It means having the great good fortune to be at the Newport School District because its people are so special. That letter was written back in 1994 by Butch Lockley. Butch recently retired from Farm Bureau, had a son, Rod Lockley, who was a great Greyhound football player, who came home and has become a great doctor. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Greyhound TV, Newport Cable Television. TCA Cable is proud to present the Newport Greyhounds. It's all new, and we're excited about bringing you the telecast each and every Saturday morning, the home games, the away games, as the Greyhounds come to TV. Many of you know the score of last night's game. As we tape tonight, we don't know, but even if you know the score, it's going to be fun to watch the football game, and we welcome all the Greyhound coaches and players and folks who did not get to see the game, those who were involved directly in it last night. Got a break and stayed in the game in the first half, and now have a chance to take the lead. 2 minutes to go. First and goal at about the 6. Here's the option play. Henderson cuts back inside. Victor, diving, touchdown! Henderson for the score with 1:59 to go in the third quarter. And Newport, which was dead on the side of the road in the middle of the second quarter, folks. I mean, they were possum. Now leads 20-14. Bo Ellis, touchdown Greyhounds. The Newport Greyhounds go 77 yards.
A vintage drive, but I wish that clock had about 2 minutes less on it, but I'm just tickled to death to have to leave. 25-22, 2:28 to go in the game.
Big Ben.
Here comes Treadway to throw. It is up, and it is
complete, short at the 1 yard line, and that is the ball game. Batesville completes the pass at the 1 yard line on the last play of the ball game, and the Hounds win it 26-22.
There's a sweep to the right side and some running room for Ellis. Ellis, the 9th grader, got a chance to go the distance. 40, 30, one man to beat, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown 9th grader. Kendall back to his 15-yard line to receive the punt. 7-0 Newport, second quarter action. 10 minutes to go in the first half from the hill. Good snap. Nice spiraling kick, beautiful kick. Kendall does not fair catch it, makes the catch. Kendall to the right side to the 20. Kendall to the 30, got some blockers. Kendall to the 40, 45. Kendall still going midfield. Kendall could go all the way. Don't see any flags anywhere. Touchdown, Kendall. 3rd down and 2. Hounds need this first. Straight ahead, Timmy has the first down, and Timmy is still going, and Timmy trying to get loose inside the 45, to the 40, to the 37-yard line. Oh, Tim Brown. And it's a first down for the Newport Greyhounds at about the 36, 37-yard line of Osceola. Hounds hustling to that line of scrimmage. Power set to the right side. Newport has just totally dominated. Victor straight ahead on the sneak. Victor still going. Victor, touchdown Greyhounds. And that's not running it up. Run the sneak and score.
Chris Ellis is yet to touch the football. Here's Harris up under center. Motion man is Brand to the left. There's Ellis with the football. He crosses the line of scrimmage, breaks it to the outside to the 10. He's to the 5, and Chris Ellis has scored, and the Newport Greyhounds have taken an early lead, 6-0. Kendall will quickly go deep. Punter stands at the 33-yard line. High snap. And it's blocked! It's blocked, and the ball is at the 24, picked up by Kenneth Tate, and Kenneth Tate will go 24 yards for the touchdown. The Hounds have blocked a punt and have taken the lead. Holy cow, what a great play by the Newport Greyhound special teams.
Big time.
Here's the snap. Kick is up, and it is wide right. Forest City misses the field goal. Trey Stafford right under that goalpost to call it. 4, 3, 2, 1, and the Hounds win it. 34-33, and your Newport Greyhounds are 3-0 and undefeated on the year as they come on the road and defeat the Forest City Mustangs. Clock is running at 9:23, so maybe we've got the clock straightened up. Zach will let the ball hit at the 38, filled it at the 32. Looking left, got a man to beat, looking for the wall. He's got the wall. He's to the 50. He's to the 41, man to the beat, to the 30, the 20, and he's at the 10. Touchdown, Greyhounds. Motion man. Give it to Zach. Zach, look, Jack's going to run. He's at the 20. He's to the 15, to the 10. Zach to the 5, 3, 2, 1 at the goal line. Touchdown, Greyhounds. 8, 9. We've got at least 9. Bad snap again. Here comes Kenyon. Kenyon hits the man at the 2. Pick it up, House. Now they're going to rule the ball is down at about the 2-yard line. So it'll be the Hounds' ball. First down and 10 at the 2, and the Hounds can put it away right here. Set to the left side. This is Mosby. To throw, got a man open. Complete. Touchdown, Greyhounds. Quick pitch right to Warren. He's hit, stacked up, and look at that Newport defense. .54-53 and the clock moving. Quick pitch, sweep, right side. Defense comes up. The defense is there, and the defense stops the big fullback for no gain. Second down and 15. Reverse to Harris, and Harris is going to throw. He's got Luke open. He is there. Completed the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10-yard line. Here comes the pressure. Quarterback looks, and he is sacked. He is sacked at the 31-yard line. One-on-one coverage at the bottom of your screen, double coverage up at the top, and intercepted by the Greyhounds. Yes! Hounds intercepted the 50.
Ken Black. Is it Ken Black on the play right there?
Jason Cathy.
What a pleasure it is to bring back Coach Bill Capel, former coach of the Newport Greyhounds, and want to talk a little bit about numbers real quickly. In 1995, after 19 years at the helm of the Newport Greyhound football program, Coach Bill Keaty decided to retire. So the football coach for 1996 had to be somebody new. So Newport, Arkansas, and its finest coach went around the state of Arkansas, and we had a regional search, and folks, y'all remember we came up with the best candidate for that job. Coach Bill Capel, pleasure to see you, my friend.
Good to see you again, David. Sure is.
Coach Capel spent the 1996 year at Newport. It was a fantastic year. It was the 10th year in our streak of 25 years, and we went on. We've been there 15 years in a row. Of course, everybody knows you've been watching right here. And Coach, what an honor it was to have you. Tell us a little bit about where you went after you left Newport, Arkansas. Let's look that way before we look back.
You know, obviously, when I came to Newport, I expected to be there a while, and
Absolutely.
I thought things looked really bright there for the future. In fact, I told my son Landon when we pulled out of town leaving. That we're probably leaving a state championship behind here, and I know he remembers that. We had it on video, and but no, I got an offer to go to Boise State and with Houston Nutt at the time. And at the time, you know, as a young coach, you're always looking to move up the ranks, and it was something that opportunity that you don't get very often, and it was one I couldn't turn down. And so I took the opportunity, went to Boise State for a year, and then the Arkansas job came open, and Nutt got that, which we all know that story, and came back, and I was with him for 2 years at the University of Arkansas, and then I was out of coaching for a couple years, and went to Tulsa for a year with Keith Burns, and he got let go after that season, so I was out of a job. So I decided I needed something a little more stable, and I got the job at Texarkana, and stayed there 6 years, and really had a good time down there. People were good to me down in Texarkana, and the Southern Arkansas job came open. I was needing to get back into college just for retirement purposes as much as anything, and I got the Southern Arkansas job. I hope I can keep it for a while.
Well, you know, you talk about SAU. It's at Magnolia. In Magnolia, it's a Division II school. It's a good program, and you've got these guys turned around playing well. And then at Texarkana, Dennis Johnson comes to mind, and everybody knows Dennis Johnson, the Razorbacks, a guy that you're very familiar with.
Very familiar. Yeah, I got Dennis my first year there. He was in the 8th grade, and you know, there's a lot of stories I could tell. We don't have time to tell here with Dennis, but he was definitely a treat to have. He was a challenge to have, but we had a good time with it, and we're able to put together 2 state championships there at Texarkana, and that was a great thing. And you know, leaving Texarkana was tough. It really was. I mean, I could have probably stayed there for a long time, but to go over to Magnolia, and it's been a big challenge for me there for the 3 years, and we're not where we want to be, but we're getting close. We really feel like.
And that's where you were after Newport. Tell us briefly about your career prior to coming to Newport, Arkansas.
Well, you know, I played at UCA and graduated from there, and you know, was able to get on Coach Horton's staff as a young coach. Got there in '82 as a graduate assistant, and he hired me full time the next year, and I was able to stay there for 14 years. And man, it was just a great time, and I learned a lot of football under him, and worked for Coach Isom also after Coach Horton went back to Arkansas. And 14 years, 10 championships, 3 national championships. It was time for me to move on, and that's when the Newport job came open.
Pretty good resume to come in here, Coach, and I know you remember it well. We had over 100 applicants apply for the job, and you were the best. You were the best applicant that we had. We hired you, like you say, you wanted to stay for a long time. But 1996 again was the year that after only the 3rd coach in 30 years. It was only the 3rd time in 30 years that we'd been looking for a coach. Coach Counts had been there 10 years. Coach Keaty had been there 19 years. And we hire you hoping to be a long-time deal. It didn't work out for us, but you went on to some big things. And Coach, I know it was a pleasure for you to be there for your 1 year, and I know you enjoyed your stay. Talk a little bit about being a football coach for the Newport Greyhounds.
We still look back on it, me and my wife, and you know, some of the people we met in Newport, great people. It was a good time, you know, it really was. And you know, I know when I got the job, people were telling me, Coach, we know it's going to be tough the first year, because Coach Keaty's last year, he lost a lot of really good players.
Absolutely, we did.
We were able to put together a pretty good team that year. You know, the tradition was so strong, and the kids knew how to win, and you know, it was a good situation. I had good coaches on my staff, really enjoyed working with those guys, and again, the people in the community just embraced me and my family, and it was a good year for us. You know, I really hated to do what we did, but you know, it was just something in a career path that you couldn't turn down, but I can still remember the night walking out on the field to play Batesville.
Yes, sir.
You know, we're going out there for warm-ups, and you know, this lady walks by me. I don't know her from Adam, and she looks square at me, gets right in front of me, so I can't walk through the gate there. She goes, "Coach, you better win tonight." What? You know,
a little pressure there.
Yeah, it was a big thing, because that was one of the biggest things there. You know, when I got there, they hadn't lost to Batesville in forever, and
right.
And you know, so that was one of the things. You got to beat Batesville, Coach. You want to keep your job around here very long.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I do know this, that it was a great honor to have you to come, and you know, and you brought a resume that was second to none to our program, and we're looking back at 25 years of playoff history. Not only is it history, it's something that you look at and it really comes from your heart for being a Newport guy. And I've been there all my life, and in 25 years in a row, the Newport Greyhounds have been in the playoffs. Now, nobody in the state of Arkansas has ever done that.
Yeah, that's pretty
The streak
impressive.
was 23 years, and Pine Bluff and Rivercrest both, I think, were at 23, but 25 years in a row. And we want to put this program together and get with you guys that were a part of it. Thank you guys for what you did for us. Even though it was a short stay, it was a good stay, Coach.
Yeah, I know it was a short stay, and again, it's the way the things fell. But you know, Newport, it was a great experience for me and my family. Something we won't ever forget, that's for sure. And once a Greyhound, you know, you're always a Greyhound. I feel that way today. Still root for them every time I look in the paper. And in fact, I've made some trips to some games and watching them play over the years. So always a Greyhound, and pulling for Newport every time they play.
Coach Bill Keppel, I appreciate you, my friend.
Appreciate you. All right.
Head coach, Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia, Arkansas, former Newport Greyhound coach. We want to thank you once again for being on our program.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Walker, screen left. Ellis breaks a tackle. Ellis breaks two. Ellis to the 50. Ellis to the 40. Ellis to the 30. The 20. The 10. The 5. Touchdown Greyhounds. Hounds look to throw. Walker looks, he throws, and it is complete, and what a catch by Ken Black, number 16. First down and 10 from the 27. Ellis wide. Kenyon with a block. Ellis to the outside. He's got a chance to go all the way. Ellis to the 40. Ellis to the 30, and he's going to be caught from behind at the 22-yard line. Valentine touchdown. What a job of blocking on the right side.
Big board, number 34, Jeffrey Valentine in for the score.
I'm talking about, we had guys, Seth Thompson with a beautiful block.
Seth was there, Bo Lacey was there, and I'm not sure.
Complete, near a first down Ratliff. What a throw by Jordan Walker. Call it right here, a 31-yard attempt for the victory for the Hounds. Kurtner to Adams. He nailed it! He nailed it! He nailed it! Anthony Mulder nailed it! He nailed it from 31 yards. And Owens to kick again, and this one will be filled at about the 2, and the Hounds are going to try to return and do so. Who's got the football left? And we've got a wall to the 30, to the 40. He's to the 50, to the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Newport Greyhounds, and the Hounds are back in it. Notice this kid's warm-up was punting him about 50 yards. Spiral of a kick, fielded by Black at the 45. He comes to the 40. He's got a little room. He's at the 35, to the 30, to the 25, and down at the 24-yard line. Jordan Walker drops. He's got a man wide open if he can find him. Tyson Watkins in the air to Tyson at the 5. Touchdown, Greyhounds! Return into Greyhound territory to start the game. Power play stuck that time by the left side of the defensive front. Julio Pruitt, Kristen Braxton, and Michael Shannon on the left side. Hunter Smith and Fred Brown, your Greyhound running backs. Trey. Plenty of time across the middle. Complete to Pruitt. Julio at the 35-yard line. Power left. Quentin Alcorn. Go on, Quentin. Get in there, Quentin. Get in there, baby. Rolls. Trey. Coming right. Trey. Battling. Trey. Got there. 29-8. Across the middle, wide open. Williams. Touchdown, Greyhounds. Jeff Williams.
Got Rodney Simpson will snap, Shane Cathy to hold. Adam Fields will attempt to tie this football game.
Same play, and blockers out front. Quentin. Alcorn, 50. Alcorn, 40. Alcorn, 30. Alcorn, 20. Alcorn, 10. 5. Touchdown. 66 yards. Quentin Alcorn for the score. Quentin Alcorn. Quentin Alcorn. Quentin Alcorn, 45, 50, 40, 30. Quentin to the 20. He's to the 10. He's to the 5. And that is a Newport Greyhound touchdown. Quentin Alcorn. Any at all. Option Trey. Trey still on his feet. Cutting back left. Trey Mesker. 20, 15, 10. Inside the 10 to near the 5-yard line. Third down and short for the Greyhounds. Quentin first down and some. Quentin 30. Quentin 40. Quentin 50. Quentin 40. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Quentin Alcorn gives the Newport Greyhounds the lead. From the 4. Hunter. Touchdown, Greyhounds.
For the Hounds once again. That handoff, nothing there. Good job, Kerry Hall on the play, along with number 15, Dallas Neal. Big defensive play for the Hounds. Down the line play right there, and what a pitch to Edward Pruitt. Edward Pruitt at the 50, the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10. He's down at the 3-yard line. Tall sweep to Nico. Nico cuts it upside. Nico Cox, 2-point conversion is good. We're tied up at 29. Great execution. Nico Cox just felt the hole out and went to the end zone. 29-29. Halfback pass. Here it comes. He's got him. Gourmet Dean, touchdown, touchdown! A halfback pass from Nico Cox to Gourmet Dean. And you know Pocahontas has worked on that, but we still pull it off. The Hounds lead 35-32. Bennett behind Andrews. Watch that little hitch over there. Watch the hitch over there. He rolls. He's in trouble. He's hit as he throws it. Intercepted! Intercepted! Nico Cox! Get outside, Nico! Got two backs in the backfield. There comes some heat. He throws deep and he's intercepted! Go down, Cornman! Go down! Go down! Go down! That's, ladies and gentlemen, Cornman Dean with a big interception. The Newport Greyhounds, in an incredibly improbable last 3 weeks, all we have to do is go to a knee. David Black, this is incredible. Does not describe it. Incredible does not describe it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Newport 36, Pocahontas 32. The Newport Greyhounds advance to the quarterfinals. David Black, what an incredible night. Edwards straight back. Edwards got time. Edwards rolls right, and he's got a lot of room. He throws. He's got Nico Cox. Nico 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Newport. Edwards spins. Edwards going to roll. He's got a lot of room. Edwards going to dive again. An unbelievable 2-point conversion by Edward Pruitt. 51-48.
What a pleasure it is to have on a look back about Greyhound football, and we're talking about great years, and we're in the 11th year of our 25-year playoff streak, and you have a recognizable face right here, Coach Doug Shield for the Newport Greyhounds. How are you, sir?
Doing good, doing real good.
Coach Doug Shield was with the Greyhounds for only 1 year in 1997, and folks, let me tell you what, it was a great year. Before we get to talk a little bit about that year, we want to thank Coach Shield for coming, and since that time, Coach, you came to Newport, had a fantastic year, you moved on after a year. Tell us where you've been, tell us what's been going on, tell us about what's coming up for you in your life.
We left and went to Morrilton. I was there 5 years. We left Morrilton and ended up where we are now. We're at Berryville. Bought a small farm there. This is my last year. It's my 38th year, so I'll be my retirement's pretty much over with. So I'm going to try some retirement. I'm going to see how it works. I don't know if I can slow down that much or not, but we'll see. But like I said, I've got a little farm, a little 100-acre farm, a few cows, and we'll see if that's enough to keep me busy.
Well, it will be. You'll make it what it is. There's no doubt about it. And spent a lifetime in education, Coach. And tell us a little bit about Doug Shield for the people that forgot. I mean, a former player talking for the Arkansas Razorbacks and not an Arkansas guy. How in the world did you get to Arkansas? Tell us about it.
I was in Southern California, is where I grew up. I was born in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, but Joe Gibbs was out there at the time. For everybody that remembers Joe Gibbs, he's in NASCAR right now. I think's what he's doing. But Joe was at UCA. No, it's UCA. We're talking USC. I'm sorry.
Right, absolutely.
It was at USC, and they were recruiting me at the time, and they stopped recruiting me. Coach Gibbs came to Arkansas and brought the film with him, and Arkansas picked me up, and it was one of those deals that I came back on a visit. I loved the campus, the area, and decided that was a good thing for me to do. So I picked it up and put my little Volkswagen on the road.
And here we are, University of Arkansas. You go to college there, play football for the Razorbacks, get out and start a long, successful coaching career. Tell us some of the stops along the way, Coach.
I started out at West Fork, just out of Fayetteville. Was there 1 year as an assistant, went from there to Lone Oak. I was at Lone Oak for 2 years as an assistant, left there and went to Harmony Grove Camden. That was my first head coaching job. And from Harmony Grove Camden, ended up in Beebe. Had some good years at Beebe. Left Beebe and went to Boonville. Had some fantastic years there. Had some great talent there.
Absolutely.
Played
good
well,
football
played hard.
school.
A lot like Newport.
Yes, sir.
It's very important there to the community and to the kids. Went there and went to Magnolia and had some pretty good football teams in Magnolia.
Yes, sir.
Some Division I kids that got a chance to coach, and you don't get that very often.
Right.
And left there and came to Newport.
Let's talk a little bit about the 1 year that you came. And of course, you look back, you've already seen the interview with Coach Keppel, and we're coming off a long 19-year run from Coach Bill Keaty, and then Coach Bill Keppel came, and like I say, we've already interviewed Coach, and he stayed a year, and he got an opportunity to go to Boise with Coach Nutt and that staff, and so the job comes open, and then Newport, as always, looking for the most successful high school football coach that we can get our hands on, not necessarily in the state of Arkansas, but in the southeast, southwest region. We hired Doug Shield, and what a resume you brought to us. And we wanted the best, and we got the best. And, Coach, it only was for a year, but it was a good year for the Newport Greyhounds.
It was a good year for Doug Shield, too, and his family. I was very concerned when I moved.
Right.
I brought my son. He was a senior.
Right.
That's a tough deal to ask a kid to move his senior year.
Yes, sir.
But I'm going to tell you what, it ended up, and Jan and I talked, my wife and I talked about it a lot before we made that decision, but right now, Clint's best friends are still Newport people.
Yes, sir.
The community of Newport reached out to us like
Right.
no other community I ever has that I've gone into. Jan was very well accepted. She didn't work in the school district
Right.
there. We've always been together. That's the only place we weren't. She was down the highway from us, but people reached out to us.
Right.
And the kids reached out to Clint. And Clint was a pretty good football player. It just all worked out perfect. So, you know, hindsight being 2020, I think I made a great move. Probably hindsight being 2020, I would have never left Newport. But you know, the move to Newport was an excellent move, and you know, it's hard to tell the people when you leave, but we enjoyed our year there immensely, and people were just fantastic to us.
You guys put together a string, and this is our 11th year. We end up 11th year of the 25, so the playoff streak's at 11, and we're really not. I mean, you know, the Batesville streak was big, and kind of share the story. You had a gentleman come up to you early in the year and said he thought it was important that you beat Batesville.
Right. Yeah. Basically, first day I came on the campus, I was at the office, and a gentleman came in, and after a long conversation, he told me a lot about the tradition and so on. He got up to leave, and he said, "Coach, you need to understand, you can go 1-9 and be a hero here, or you can go 9-1 and get fired." I wrinkled my brow, and he said, "You better beat Batesville." so you know, I figured out real quick Batesville was very important.
It was. Coach, let's talk just a little bit about during your conference champion. Hey, win a conference championship. You start out the year, we beat a real good Jonesboro team, stepping up in classification. We win a football game 28-7, lose to a real good, talented Osceola team, and beat a four-city team, Paragon. Get to the win game, because the win game was one of those that will go down as one of the great Greyhound football games. Hounds win the football game 15-14, but it was a knock-down, drag-out. Don Campbell coached football team, and we were fortunate enough to come out on top.
We were, and the play that got us there was very controversial. We did a little bootleg, fake to play, and bootlegged out, and the quarterback actually slipped.
Right.
And on the film, it sure looked like his knee hit the ground.
Yes, it did.
So, you know, but the official was right there.
Zach is in the slot nearest Bo Lacey on the offensive line. Luke is next to Zach's right. Adrian drops. Good block by Benji. He throws. It is complete. It is complete. Scott Seals inside the 10. What a throw from Adrian Mosby.
Coach, what an outstanding play. And you talk about the film, looked at it. It looked like it. I think he was down, but boy, we got a big break, and we needed it.
Oh, it was huge. It was huge. Don Campbell and I have been friends for a long time, and Don was fit to be tied.
Yes, sir.
And I can understand that, but you're right. We needed a big break. It was one of those games that type of play can break it open for you, and thank goodness we came up with that, because it was a fourth down play.
And no doubt it was. And the Hounds go on and win, finish the year 9-1, so you win 8 in a row going into the playoffs. And then Hot Springs Lakeside, and the Hounds win a game 14-0 defense. I remember Clint was just outstanding. And look at a little bit, talk a little bit about Clint Shield. Everybody, you make the comment, Coach, and I think rightfully so. So hard to ask a kid to move his senior year. And not only did he come in and was a great football player, he was a great student, he was a great ambassador, and has been for Newport since he left Newport.
I'm very proud of him. Clint to make that move and make it with the attitude that he made it was phenomenal. You know, he came in and his senior year he's living. You know, we moved him to 9 years.
Right.
You know, so he's basically been almost his whole high school, junior high career has been in one spot. He was playing pretty good ball down there. He knew where he fit, and bring him in. But like I said, a big part of that was the Newport people.
Right.
They rallied around him. The kids did. They accepted him, and like, you know, he took advantage of that,
right,
and did well. I was telling you earlier, Clint he went to UCA on a scholarship, played football down there for a while, and ended up getting a degree in business. Came up, was running a Red Lobster in Fayetteville, and decided that wasn't what he wanted to do. So he's back in law school now.
Good.
He's one semester away from finishing law school with a 3 points. So he's had a great life so far, and you know, and I think being part of Newport has been part of that.
You know, we've got to talk about it before we get out of here. We've got to talk about the halfback pass. This was the year that we talked about in Greyhound history. What was the year where we had all the halfback passes for touchdown? And this was the year, Coach. Tell us a little bit about the halfback pass. What's that all about?
Well, we were in the same. Luke Reardon was an excellent receiver.
Right.
And Zach Harris was his best buddies. They palled together. Zach was actually a quarterback before I got there, but didn't want to be an option quarterback. You know, that wasn't his thing. We moved him into a position where he was comfortable. But he had that arm.
Yes, sir.
And we had that play in, but he had a knack of Luke had a knack of getting open, number one, and Zach had a knack of sucking the defense into him and finding a way to get that ball completed. It broke open the Batesville game.
Yes, sir, it did.
That pass broke open the Batesville game. It was a huge play against Wynn.
Yes, sir.
Time and time again, we said something earlier. Every week. I mean, they saw it. People knew it was coming, and they still couldn't stop it. But I contribute that to those two kids.
Yes, sir.
They were phenomenal working together with that. They found a way to get open. And you know, Zach would change the route. I mean, we had it drawn up one way, but Zach you know, would change that.
He was good enough, wasn't he?
He was good enough.
Yes, sir.
He was good enough.
Sure was.
And Luke was right there. But it was fun. And I've had a chance to see Luke every once in a while. He's up here at Fayetteville.
Right.
I'll go over to see Clint, and he'll be there, and you know, so I bring that up every once in a while. It's still huge in his mind too.
1997 was the year of the halfback pass. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Coach, we get the playoffs, beat Hot Springs 14-0. We lose again, and boy, Alma had really been just a thorn in our side. We lose a 24-0 game, but hey, when you look back on it, 10-2. Conference champs, one of the most successful seasons that we've ever had there. I want to thank you personally for taking a year out of your life to come spend with us in Newport and being a part of this tribute to our kids and our coaches for 25 years in the playoffs. And man, I couldn't have it any other way without having Doug Schill on this program.
Well, I appreciate it. And I was honored to be called, to ask to be on this program. It is Newport football is special. And, you know, Keedy made it that way, and the tradition's carried on. It's a fun place to coach football. I promise you, it's a fun place to coach football.
Coach Doug Schill, we thank you, sir, for being a part of us.
Thank you.
Mesker will lead your Newport Greyhounds in the huddle. Fred Brown and Hunter Smith are your running backs. LeVar and Andrew Jones are the split receivers. Armstrong at a tight. High back Fred Brown. Fred Brown on his feet. Fred Brown running over folks. Fred Brown, touchdown Greyhounds. Fred Brown goes 23 and the Hounds go up 6-0.
Woo! Fred Brown just running over the world. Newport blocks a punt, and Fred Brown goes the distance on the first play.
Woo! Breaking 4 different tackles. Hounds go on top 6-0 with 9:13 to play here in the first. Fake, wide open, 2 for the Hounds. Pass from Andrew Jones to LeVar Wyatt. The Hounds are excited, Randy.
No doubt, I haven't seen this much fire.
Double wing. Trey with a play, 5, touchdown, Trey Mesker.
Randy, you're saying it so loud over here, but Coach Watley pointed out to us that when Hunter went out of the ball game last week, how it greatly affected our offense. He is our best blocker, you know, leading Fred through there. And without Hunter, we weren't the same offensive football team.
Here in the first half. Trey with a play, Trey Mesker 30, Trey Mesker to the 40, cuts back to the 45, Trey's to the 50, 45, Trey's to the 40, Trey's to the 35-yard line. Trey drops, he's got a man, LeVar wide open, complete, LeVar 35, what a block by 25-20. Andrew with a block inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. It was Andrew Jones with a huge block. Well, the right side looks open, and here's Fred. Here's Fred. Here's Fred. Here's Fred. That's Fred. Touchdown. Toss, sweep right. Bo Moss, Robert Turner, Josh Austin, and Nick Doyle up front.
There it is.
Trap play, Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown 50. Jerry Brown 45. 40. Jerry Brown 35. 30. Jerry Brown inside the 30-yard line to the 28-yard line. Second down and goal from the 4. The Hounds must punch it in.
Oh, I hope he's going.
And the Newport Greyhounds led by Bo Braun, Josh Austin, Robert Turner, Nick Doyle. Wide open on the right side if the Hounds go there. There it is. There it is. Get in there, Linnell. Linnell Ellis fighting, and touchdown Greyhounds. Linnell Ellis fights in from the 4-yard line, and the Hounds are right back in the football game.
Right there. Get in.
Del Case, are they going to give it to him?
He's in easy.
Oh, I would have thought he'd have been in very. Now, touchdown Greyhounds. Del Case 1-yard sneak. Jerry Brown in the secondary. Jerry Brown 20. Jerry Brown 15, 10, 5. Down inside the 4 to the 3, and maybe the 2-yard line goes Jerry Brown. 4 wide receivers for Arkadelphia. Quarterback under pressure, and he is sacked by Ryan Armstrong.
3 to the right, 1 to the left. Lone setback number 2. Little option play and pitch fumble. It's caught. It's caught by Thamel. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown Thamel Morgan. Hounds trail 7-0. Quick pitch out to Corn. Corn with speed, and Corn's going to go. Look at Corn. Corn's going to go score if Lewis will just don't clip Lewis. And Corn Pruitt, touchdown Newport, David. Newport. Artez wide right, Lewis wide left. Hounds will throw it. Ryan rolls right. He's going to run it, and he's going to be, well, Ryan, look at Ryan McGoy running. Great effort by Ryan. He's going to be close to the first down. If he's not, you get to go. And here comes the kick from Gutierrez. Short kick to Thamel at the 22. Well, looks for room, and he's got room. Thamel's at the 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Newport. David, what a game. Field. Lewis Childress wide left. Will Honey, your left tackle. Derek Watkins, left guard. Darius Martin, center. Dimitri Fryer, right guard. Gonzo, Gabriel Gonzalez, right tackle. Joe Harden is your tight end. Colton Lowry, the starting nub. Ryan McGoy is your starting quarterback. Straight handoff to Hakeem. Good play on first down for the Hounds. Back with Hakeem. Ryan straight back. Throws it deep. He's got Corin. Caught by Corin Pruitt. Touchdown, Newport. What a great job by David Corin Pruitt. What great concentration. Gives it across the middle. Fielded very cleanly there at the 20. There goes Denzel Taylor at the 50. Denzel at the 40. Denzel still on his feet at the 35, inside the 35, and that's the way to start the football game. Big offensive line, guys. Ryan down the line, keeps, and Artez has got room. Artez 10, Artez 5. Touchdown, Artez Brown. Looked good on the option that time, David. Hounds 6-0.
Boy, the Hounds just ran it to a side that they didn't have enough guys.
Quadarius Ross lines up at the left wing. Offset eye look for the Hounds. Several different sets run by the Hounds. Quad's got room. Quad's got a good block, and Quad's going to go. Quad 30, Quad 40, Quad 50, Quad 40, Quad 30. Great block. Quad still on his feet inside the 20. There are no flags. Quadarius Ross with a huge ball at about the 14-yard line. Split backs. Will be the option this time, maybe. Ryan rolls right. He's got Artez. He's got a man across the middle. Touchdown, Joe Harden. David, the first time we've thrown to the tight end all year. Joe's open and makes a great catch.
There's something about tight ends and the Stuttgart Rice Birds.
Aaron Newman at the nub. Down the line option. There's Artez. And Artez has got a lot of room. Artez at the 30, 35, 40. Artez at the 45, still his feet 50. Artez 40, Artez 30, Artez 20, Artez 10. Touchdown, Artez Brown, 76-yard. There are no flags.
Hi, I'm Sherry Neal. I was a Whippet from the class of 89.
Christy Youngblood, Whippets, class of 1989.
Jerry Beth Hinkle Bowen, class of 1990. Renee Lawson George, class of 1989.
Amy Paulsgrove Foster, cheerleader, class of 1995.
Monica Welch, class of 1994.
Brandy Justice Keedy, class of 1994.
Lauren Turner Sampson, 1998.
Melissa Washam Kiefner, class of 97.
Audra Hinkle Lovelady, class of 97.
Sarah Pankey, cheerleader, class of 2001.
Brittany Long, cheerleader, class of 2011.
Sandy Smith, cheerleader, class of 2010.
Amanda Hefner Anders, cheerleader, class of 2002.
Candace Embry Morrow, Whippet, 2002.
Tracy Metzger, Whippet, class of 2006.
I'm Haley Watson, class of 2012.
Lindsay Malden, class of 2012.
My name is Summer Bright, and I'm a current senior high Whippet, class of 2015.
My name is Dejanelle Morgan. I'm a senior high Whippet of 2012.
Hannah Malden, senior high Whippet, class of 2015.
Chandra Watkins, senior high Whippet, class of 2014.
I'm Libby Greeno. I'm a current senior high Whippet, class of 2014.
I'm Morgan Minley, current senior high Whippet, class of 2014.
I'm Khadijah Reyes, current Whippet, class of 2014.
I'm Sarah McAllister. I'm a current senior high Whippet, class of 2015.
I'm Shelby Jo Carden.
I'm Abby Jones.
I'm Autumn Mears.
I'm Abby Ratton.
And I'm Catherine Connor.
And we are the current Newport High School cheerleaders, class of 2014.
My name is Sissy Boyster.
I'm Ashton Madden.
My name's Emily Lowry.
And I'm Mindy Linville.
And we are current Newport High School cheerleaders of the class of 2013.
Well, what a pleasure it is here on this great look back of Greyhound football tradition to have Coach Tim Branham with us. And of course, Coach Branham was with us for 3 years in 1998, 99, 2000. Coach, we appreciate you taking time to come back and visit with us about Greyhound football.
I'll tell you, David, I've got some great memories of those 3 years, and you know, I'm tickled to death just to come over here and visit with you guys and have a chance to talk about some old times.
Well, old times and very good times. We had a great conversation before we got on the air here, Coach, and we were in the middle of this 25-year run when you were here, and I mean, there's been a lot of years down through the years. It wasn't just easy to get into the playoffs, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But talk a little bit overall about the 3 years that you were here. What an honor for you to come. You've been a good friend of mine for a long time, and we shared an apartment together, a house back when I was coaching in Harrisburg, and have known you for a long, long time. And I wanted you here to be the football coach in 1998, and we got you here, and you got on a great run. And talk about those 3 years.
Well, there's a lot of great memories, and anytime you have success as a football coach or any kind of coach, it's a credit to the young people that you're associated with. And man, I've got some. We've talked about some of those kids here in the last few minutes, and there were some great kids. We had great support. My time here is a highlight of my coaching career, and it's just an honor and a pleasure to be able to come back and talk about some of those times.
3-year record, coach, of 26-10. It's a 72% winning percentage. First year you got here in 1998, we go 9-2. It was a great year for us, obviously. It was a tough loss. We can talk about this loss a little bit. Had a tough loss to Alma in the playoffs that year, and on a football team that we thought was good as anybody in the state of Arkansas.
Well, and there's no doubt they were as good as anybody, and it's one of those games, and we talked about earlier that I can literally make myself sick thinking about, because that team had so much potential and so many great athletes, and we had very few kids that played both sides of the football, and we had a tough loss at Osceola early in the year, and we go into the playoffs very confident, played a great game for 3 quarters against Alma, and then probably some of the most flukiest things that I've ever been involved with happened to us, and just a heartbreaking, gut-wrenching loss, that night at Alma,
no doubt
against Alma.
No doubt about it, 23-17 in overtime, and the Hounds led 17-7 in the 3rd quarter, and we lose a fumble, get a punt blocked, and there are some other things that we talked about that were just so unusual in that football game. But anyway, it was a very, very successful first year, and for the first time in 4 years, in all fairness, we have a guy that's going to stay for another year, and obviously Coach Keppel had been here for 1, and Coach Schill had been here for 1, and both those guys went on to bigger and better things. And so we thought maybe if we could get somebody to come in here and stay a little while, that we could build a program. So you're staying for a 2nd year. We have an 8-4 run that next year. It was a pretty good year once again.
It was, and I think the highlight of that year was we get in the playoffs as a 4 seed, which was kind of unusual for us, but we go to Stuttgart and beat a 1 seed, and then we have Alma come back to town in the second round again, and another tough loss, a 10-7 loss to Alma in the second round of the playoffs. But you look back, even those 2 years and even the following year, the 3 teams that put us out of playoff end up state champions. So our runner-up, Alma may have been runner-up that second year, I'm not quite sure. But it took some pretty good football teams to beat us, and I guess that's that's a credit to our kids and how well they played and how hard they competed.
We got into the playoffs for the 13th consecutive year that year, and so you stay another year, Coach. You get into what's going to be your 3rd and final year, and the 14th year for us getting into the playoffs. And folks, I don't know if you'll remember a lot about this year, but it was a remarkable year. It was a memorable year. It was one where we had our backs against the wall on more than one occasion, but no doubt a great year that you talk about, very, very fondly of this last year.
Yeah, that's one of those teams that I think preseason nobody really expected a lot when you compared them to some of the past teams that that had been here in that area and that run. And a football team that starts 2-3 on the year loses arguably their best offensive player on the first play of the year. Comes back from being down to Jonesboro 19-0 in the first game and ends up winning a football game, which I think kind of set the stage for gave those kids some confidence. We start 2-3. We're 2-3 after 5 games, but the 2 losses, the 2 of the 3 losses, we felt like we really played well. We were getting better, and then we go on that that run after midseason and go 80 yards at Paragould to win a game to keep our playoff hopes alive. Go 80 yards against Batesville with about 5 minutes to go in the game to keep our playoff hopes alive, and then are able to win the first 2 games in the playoffs to, win 7 in a row to finish and get us in the semifinals.
Coach, setting a scenario for that particular year and getting into the playoffs that you do have to drive the football 80 yards against Pioneers. If we don't drive it down and score, we're not going to the playoff. This show would have never come about. We've never been here talking about it today.
Y'all might have been talking about it, but I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's right. We had to drive that thing against the Pioneers to hold on to this playoff streak of 14 years in a row. We did. We got into the playoffs. We go down as a number 3 seed, play a real tough Arkadelphia game, and it's just the Batesville drive got us to the Arkadelphia game, and the Arkadelphia game was a memorable one, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. You hear about teams peaking at the right time, and you hear about teams that get on a roll, and we were definitely on a roll, and our kids were playing with great confidence, and we go down to Arkadelphia, and it's a close game at halftime, but we totally dominate the second half. They had a great passing game, a great high school quarterback, and we sack him 7 or 8 times, intercept him a couple times, and we just totally dominate the football game the second half of the game, and probably playing no doubt playing our best football at that time of year when you need to be playing it.
We want to take a little time right now, show you a couple of big plays in that football game, the Arkadelphia game and the Newport Greyhounds. Del Case looks. He wants to throw over the middle. Jerry Brown is there. It's complete. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Hounds. Jerry Brown, big hole. Jerry Brown, touchdown Greyhounds. What a hole by the offensive line, and what a block by Richard Greer. Hounds go up 12-0. First down and goal from the 5. Tailback loses yardage back to the 10. Mark him at the 9. Guess who made that tackle?
It was Bookie Greer on about his 6th tackle of the game. Loss of 5, unblocked right through the gap.
Quarterback. Ooh. Incomplete, and E.J. Giles simply destroys Jason Johnson. And that's what the Hounds did early in the game. Here is Linnell to the 40, Linnell to the 30, Linnell to the 20, he's to the 10, he's to the 5, and it's a touchdown Newport Greyhounds. Coach, and then after the big win at Arkadelphia against Arkadelphia, the Hounds have the task of taking on the Searcy Lions, who had beaten us early in the year 52-21, and we had to go to Searcy, and a lot of folks didn't give us a chance. But boy, did we play well.
We did. Again, we're on that roll. We're able to maintain that momentum, and our kids had they had great confidence at that time. I mean, they'd come from a team that was 2-3 halfway through the year, and playing well. Practices were upbeat. Those kids, and from a talent standpoint, just overachievers, and just played hard, practiced hard, and easy to coach, and you wish you could just froze in that moment in time, because that was a great run, a lot of fun to be a part of.
Want to show 2 plays here real quick in that particular football game. One is what I call my greatest call as a Greyhound announcer. It's Roderick Spearman on a kickoff return, not for a touchdown, but down near the 6-yard line. The other is a punt of Bookie Greer. Those 2 plays coming right up. Yeah. This is a squibber. Spearman at the 15 to the 20 to the 25 to the 30, trying to come outside. He's got a little room. Cook to the 40, Cook to the 50, Cook to the 40, Cook to the 30, Cook to the 20, Cook to the 10, Cook out of bounds inside the 10. Roderick Spearman down to the 6-yard line for the Newport Greyhounds. Stay back, guys. Don't even try to rush. Bookie Greer with a block. Bookie Greer picks it up. 10, 5, touchdown Bookie Greer. Bookie Greer with a block, and the Greyhounds take the lead. And those 2 plays obviously instrumental in that 30-13 football game that put the Newport Greyhounds in the semifinals of the playoffs, and it was something that we were so excited about. And of course, we talk about that Arkadelphia game. It's a 46-26 football game, but 2 of the most memorable playoff games, Coach Branham, that I remember in all the years that I've covered. I just finished my 30th year of broadcasting, and that run, those 7 games, that drive against Batesville, the football game against Arkadelphia, the call calls against Searcy were just huge for the Newport Greyhounds, and I can't see anything that was any better prior to or after that. And I know this, Coach, we thank you for giving us the 3 years that you came, and you say often about how important it was to you to be here with the Newport Greyhounds and to be with us and to be with friends. And it was a tremendous three-year run for the Newport Greyhounds and Coach Tim Branham. Well, I appreciate that. And, you know, I've told people all the time that, you know, Newport was a job I always looked at early in my career that, boy, you know, I had great respect for Coach Keedy and the things he had done here. And I always wanted to coach here. And, you know, I don't know how many of those guys that played in that time will watch this video, but the fondest memories for me are those kids I was able to work with. Great kids, and, you know, I still see some of them every now and then. And you don't really think about it as much when it's happening, a run like we had in 2000, but when you get a little older and the time passes and you look back on it, you know, they made a highlight video, and I'll pull that highlight video out every now and then, and it's fun to reminisce, and it's fun to think about some of those things. A great coaching staff, you know, with Kenny and Herbert and Richie, and those guys are a bigger part of Greyhound football as any head coach that ever came through here. And you know, it was an honor and a pleasure for me to be able to work with those guys and be a part of it for the short time I was here. And Coach Tim Branham, we appreciate you once again for taking your time. Still the head football coach at Paragould High School. Hope things are going well for you. Yeah, I hope they get better. We thank Coach Branham, and more of our show coming right up.
Cordray, Christian, Asante right, Garrett left, Frank in the backfield. Michael rolls, drops back, throws it deep. He's got a man down there. Touchdown Newport! Yes! Touchdown Newport to Garrett Smith. 38 yards for a Newport touchdown. Michael straight back, got time, throws it deep for Devontae. Devontae's in position to catch it, and he's got it. Devontae Neal at the 10-5, touchdown Newport. 56 yards, Michael Reynolds to Devontae Neal. Us on the second line. High kick, we need to make a fair catch. We drop it, and there's Devontae Neal. Devontae at the 50, Devontae at the 40, catches up at the 30, Devontae 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Newport, Devontae Neal. 9 like we did on the last series. Michael's got a lot of room. Michael just run. First down, Michael runs 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 20, 25, 20, 15, 10. Don't block him. 5. Michael just short of the goal line to be first to goal Newport from the one. A huge run by Michael. This time, Ryan down the line option, pitch to Artez. Artez has too much speed for that guy. 10. Artez Brown runs the hurdles and goes into the end zone. We got to get this play off, and we do. Michael rolls back, and he's in trouble. Michael's going to get rid of it to Grant Black. First down, Newport. Kristen Crichton, 45, 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Newport. Kristen Crichton, touchdown. Michael straight back, throws a little screen, and there's a lot of room there. 40, 30, 20, 10, touchdown Newport. Is that 16?
16.
16, Grant Black with the reception.
You're watching on Saturday morning after the ball game, go at 10.
Michael rolls and got a man, got Cordray. Cordray get around him. He's got a lot of room, and he does. Cordray Taylor at the 35. Cordray at the 40, the 45, the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. And there's a flag on the play, and it's coming back.
Del Case to throw. Throwing deep. Esslinger is there. It is coming into the 15 to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, and that is big for the Hounds. That is big for the Newport Greyhounds. Unbalanced right. Oh, the man is hit, stuck, and he is down. Brandon Harris Allen. Whoa. Another 10 or 12 seconds off the clock. They do not. This could be returnable. Jerry Brown at the 28 to the 30. Breaks a tackle down the sidelines. Jerry Brown to the 40. Jerry Brown to the 35, and down to the 33-yard line goes Jerry Brown. Their own 20. Del Case drops. He wants to throw. Got the screen set up. Here is Buki. Buki with one up block. Buki to the 40. Buki to the 45, 50. Buki to the 40. Buki to the 35. Buki cuts back to the 20. Buki fumbled the ball, and I don't know who got it. A penalty flag comes in late. Buki Greer just simply ran out of gas. It is the Hounds football. Buki is tired. Buki is down. An incredible run by Richard Greer. E.J. Giles is there. Hang on, E.J. Got some help from Jerry Brown. Second down and goal from the 4. Hounds are going to run a power play left. There's Del Case. Option play. Del Case. Touchdown Greyhounds. Hounds have come from 19 down. It has been an exciting, exhausting evening, even from the broadcast booth.
Absolutely, the tale of two teams, the tale of two games tonight. Just what a great comeback. What a great, great mental boost for this football team, no doubt about it.
The Newport Greyhounds have clinched a share of the conference championship for the umpteenth time in the last 22 years.
It's very easy to lose count. I guess we could go to the entrance of Greyhound Field and look at that amazing wall chart that before you enter there, the great sign, and we'd find out. But boy, it's just been a great run, and it's great to be on top all by ourselves.
Well, I can guarantee you one thing. We enjoyed bringing it to you here at Pioneer Stadium. 22 years in a row, and folks coming in is the biggest Batesville crowd that I've ever seen here at Batesville. The Pioneers thought this was the year that they were going to defeat the Newport Greyhounds. It's not to be. The Hounds win it by the score of 35-15.
special pregame presentation at Friday night's game at home against Marion. Newport Booster Club and the school and the community is going to take this opportunity to honor two longtime great Greyhound boosters, Mr. John Miner and Mr. Jeff Ellis. And what great contributors these guys have been to the Newport High School and the Newport athletic program for down through the years. And you know, I don't want to tell you how old those guys are, but it's more than 20, it's more than 30, it's more than 40 years that they've been associated with these programs and do a great job. So we have that special presentation. Hopefully we'll be able to get a word with them coming up in just a moment.
We're here to dedicate our press boxes and to honor two of the greatest Greyhound boosters and fans ever. These two guys right here, John Miner and Jeff Ellis. You can tell they're boosters by the way that they're dressed. These jackets that they're wearing, by the way, are for being selected and the recipients of the prestigious Newport Greyhound Outstanding Booster Award that they've won over the years. I might mention that I'm kind of telling off on my age and theirs also, but going back to 1960, these two fellows had a lot to do with starting the very first Newport Greyhound Athletic Booster Club. As a matter of fact, John and Jeff and 5 other gentlemen started the club. 1 year later, instead of having 7 in the membership, they had over 150. Also, during that time, the first couple of years, both of these two gentlemen helped build the press box that we have right up here now. Both of these guys have been presidents of the Booster Club, and they've not only served the Booster Club, the Athletic Booster Club, well, but they have been very active in supporting the Newport youth for all of those years. I might mention, too, that as a former player, back in the 1960s, these guys right here had a lot to do with helping our football team, and during my 19-year tenure here as Greyhound football coach, these guys really helped our program throughout that time, as they still do today. Back starting in 1960, and for 35 years, Jeff Ellis has been right up there as our public address announcer. He's not only been here on every Friday night for our football games, a lot of people don't realize it, but he was here on Monday nights for the B games, Tuesday night for the 8th grade games, Thursday night for the pup games, naturally Friday night for the Greyhound games, and even would come out Saturday morning for the little bitty games. So this guy's put in so many hours for the Greyhound program. I might mention this, and I'm probably going to have to agree with Jeff. He said he's smarter than John because Jeff sat up there where he had a cover on him, and for all those same amount of years, old John was over there on what he called the buzzard roofs, and he just had to sit out in the ice cold weather and the rain and the storms and whatever. But he was here throughout the same time. As the statistician for the Greyhounds, he was always there for us for that, whatever we needed, and these guys have been so very valuable to the community of Newport. It's just unbelievable. I could sit here and go on and on, but I know you're ready for a football game. Beginning tonight, our home press box will be known as the Jeff Ellis Press Box, and the visitors press box, the new facility, will be known as the John Miner Press Box. How about a big standing ovation for these two super fans?
Very deserving. Jeff Ellis, John Miner. Quick word here with Jeff and John. Well, you know, you're still around here, aren't you?
I'm still here. I don't know why, but I'm still here. I thought they would have run me out of town a long time ago, you know, for some of the things that I've said.
Jeff, I just want to say congratulations. You and I kind of the same field. I talked on that radio for many years. You talked over here to all the fans those many football games, and I tell you what, yours is one of the most recognized voices in the history of this community. Congratulations on this award.
Well, I thank you. That's awful nice of you to say that, but you know I missed you when you moved out of the press box because we worked together like a team of mules pulling a wagon.
Well, we certainly did that, and congratulations. Look at there. There it is, a loaf of bread and a pound of meat and all of mustard. You can eat. Way to go down there, cheerleaders, whippets, and all the crew. All right, John Miner, talk to me. They just did. They've already filmed that sign. Okay, nice to have a place to work from, isn't it?
This sign absolutely is the greatest thing that I've seen. How many times times on the Buzzard Roost side did we cut his PA system off. He didn't know that. But when he'd come out with a loaf of bread and a pound of meat and all the mustard you could eat, well, we naturally cut it off. Jeff, I hate to tell you this, but after all these years, we flicked a switch on you, and that ended in just about half of it for a time. But anyway, we had a lot of fun, buddy. The years, you know, it was a great time. We enjoyed it and have a ton of stories we could tell, but you don't have time for that. I'm real happy for Jeff, and of course, I really appreciate this honor. It means a lot to Jeff and myself.
All right, guys, it's certainly deserving.
Bud Black, they're talking about him sitting out in the open over there. I wouldn't let him in the press box after he threw that white rooster out on me for turkey calling contest.
So he got punished for 30 years in the Buzzard Roost. Guys, thank you and congratulations. All right, John Miner and Jeff Ellis. John Miner's new Buzzard Roost and Jeff's a loaf of bread and a pound of meat and all the mustard that you can eat. Let's get a quick shot of the ROTC out here, Galen. They're doing a precision drill here before we start our pregame show. It's been a fun evening so far. Here's the Newport Junior ROTC group.
And again, what a pleasure and what an honor it is to get to visit with the head football coaches that were, with the Newport Greyhounds during this playoff streak. Coach Mark Watley, who was there for our years 15, 16, 17, and 18. Coach, you led us to the playoffs 4 years. Welcome to the program. Glad to see you again, my friend.
Well, thank you. It's good to see y'all. And, it's a great place to be a part of. The passion there, you get out of the car and you can feel it when you get there. And that's what made Newport a special place to me and my family. We certainly enjoyed it, made a lot of great friends, and had a good time.
Coach, there the 4 years, that's kind of like we've done with each coach. Want to talk a little bit about after your 4 years, tell us what happened to Mark Watley. We know you went home, know you went to Jacksonville, know you Springdale. Tell us how all that happened. Where you been, what you been doing?
Well, that's still coaching ball. Went home to Jacksonville, and like I said, Newport was a tough place to leave. It's a tough decision. My folks had followed me all over the country, and had an opportunity to go home and take my kids back and let them play on the same fields I'd played on and all that stuff. Had a good run there, and then had an opportunity to come to Springdale as offensive coordinator, and here I am.
Springdale, Arkansas, beautiful country, and that's kind of where you've been since you left Newport. And you come in, you follow Coach Branham there for 3 years, and you come, and we're looking for, for the third time in 5 years, 6 years, looking for a head football coach. Hire a good one, a guy with a great resume, a guy, a good family man. Tell us about what all you done before you got to Newport, because you brought an impressive resume when you came to the Newport Greyhound football program.
Well, it's like anywhere you are. You're only as good as the people around you, and I've been very fortunate to be around great people. And I coached at Harrison, Rising, Arkadelphia, came to Newport from Ashdown, and it's not a one-man show, and you have to have great people around you. And I've been very, very lucky my whole career to be surrounded by great people and great young people, and been in good places at good times and have no regrets.
Coach, let me ask you this. Let's get into this 4-year period of Greyhound football. 28-19 record those 4 years, and obviously 4 years in the playoffs, because that's why we're doing a 25-year history, and again, years 15 through 18. But a couple of things that I remember that I thought I thought some plays were important. We can't mention a lot of names, but there were some plays that I thought maybe signature play, signature win. One of the things I remember most about what I call the Mark Watley era, we're playing at Corning. We're playing at Corning in 03. Win the football game 15-14, but there was a play. Tell us what happened when you went out on the field. Tell us what happened on that play and what you did to help those officials, help them know how to call the game.
Well, luckily I got had a young man on one sideline that they'd kicked off, and there was a fumble on the play, but there'd been a whistle blown, and luckily back then I could still hear pretty good, and I heard the whistle, and so I just simply went out and asked the young man if he was going to do what I thought the right thing to do was, and could he look in the mirror if he didn't, and left, and they went back and forth, and fortunately he looked at the guy, the head referee looked at the side judge and asked him, said, "Did you blow your whistle?" And I tell you what, it seemed like about 5 minutes of dead silence because I didn't know if he was going to play poker
or not. Yeah.
Right. And he said, "Yes, sir, I did." And and that opened the door to now put it in his hands. You're going to do what's right. And fortunately, he did. And our kids got the ball back and held on for a win that we hadn't played real well, and it made a difference. It was touch and go there for a minute.
Hey, no doubt about it. And Coach, to get to your signature, what I call your signature win in the years that you were there, we beat a real good Boonville team at Newport in a year where we probably might not have shouldn't even gotten to the Boonville game because we had to beat Truman in double overtime.
Well, that was tremendous. I mean, they had it. All they had to do is punch it through, and Tyrone Watkins came out of nowhere, and then that's what you get. You get those kids that grow up wanting to wear that black and orange, and they understand what it means to walk out there and what they're representing, the history and that sort of thing. And that kid came through there and blocked it, and we were able to go on and win that. And like you say, if he doesn't make that play, we don't get a chance to beat Boonville at our place.
And Coach Wiley, because of that play, we get to host another playoff game the next week against a Boonville team. And a little history here with Boonville and you. This was a football game that you desperately wanted to win.
Well, without a doubt, and it was a point too where, especially coming off the week before, we needed for our program to make a statement that we had every right to be where we were, and I felt like our kids came out and did that.
Right.
I thought they played with a lot of passion and enthusiasm that night. The community came out, filled the stands. It was a good night of football.
Before we get into anything else, boy, one of the plays that set up the whole night that made us, it was a great start for the Hounds with Julius Pruitt. He makes a great play, and here it is right here.
First quarter, Hounds lead 8-0. Watch the football, guys. Watch the long count. Motion man. Option. Now he wants to throw. He's got a man wide open. Julio Pruitt stole the ball, and he's going to go 35 yards for a touchdown. Julio Pruitt took it away from the quarterback and took it in 35 yards for the score, and the Hounds are up 14-0.
Holy smokes. It's an interception.
That's as athletic a play as I've seen in my career. I mean, you don't see it very often, and of course, anybody that follows Mr. Pruitt understands that's why he's where he is right now, because he's capable of doing things like that. But that certainly set the stage, and then we had some kids come through and play great that night on both sides of football, and fortunately came out with a win that we certainly wanted.
Well, yeah, you beat Boonville 38-18, and again, we talk about a signature win, but I mean, lots of wins, Coach. Lots of the thing that you talk about, you've been around young people, and I know the kids that played during this time, the kids that are now, young men. Talk about what great pride they had in Mark Watley being there, and it was a time when our offense developed a little bit. We throwing the football a little bit, a lot of different sets, brought an offensive genius attack, as we call it, because we did a lot of things with the football. We got to the times that everybody in the state of Arkansas and around the country were doing things differently, and we started doing the things that the kids wanted to do, and the kids responded.
Well, they did, and we were pretty athletic, and anytime you're athletic, you want to give those kids a chance to go out and show what they can do on the stage, and they buy into that, and that was one of those football teams that gave us the ability to spread the football around and let people, we could throw it, we could run it, play great defense, and I think they bought into it because it was an exciting thing. It took us a while. We started out with the option, and then once we got Bud sold on pitching the ball a little bit, then we could spread it out.
That's right.
And once we got that going, then we could spread it out and have a little more fun with it. And but it was fun, and it was a great time. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, Coach, and of course you lived right across the street from us and watched your kids grow up. And I want to talk a little bit about tell us about the girls, and then we'll talk about the boys a little bit. Tell us where the girls are.
Well, my oldest daughter's teaching in Jacksonville now, and my youngest one is at Arkansas State in Jonesboro, so she still passes through there quite often. And of course, that's a long way from where we are, and both my sons, White and Will, are playing at Springdale. I will say that the time that we were in Newport, my oldest daughter received an excellent education. My youngest one did. And, I know this is all about football, but that community does a tremendous job with kids in general.
Right.
And when you have it going educationally and athletically, it makes both of them work a whole lot better. And I think it has a lot to do with making Newport what it is. But our family's doing great. Wife's teaching and just continuing to do what we're trying to do.
Talk a little bit about Coach being in Newport. It shows about Newport, but you mentioned being at Springdale. No crybabies in that conference every Friday night. It's a battle, baby. It is a battle.
I promise you, you better bring your A game every night. It's pretty competitive, and then continues to continue to get that way.
So impressed. I got to watch some film on the boys that you showed me, some highlight films on the boys, and lo and behold, while we filmed at the Springdale Fieldhouse. We want to thank Coach Watley, and I forgot to mention it during the Coach Schill interview, but we thank you for letting us come to the Springdale Fieldhouse, and what a facility here. And after I interviewed Coach Schill, I walk out and I look down in the indoor practice facility, and there's Will and White, another young man out there. They're tossing and catching on a Saturday afternoon.
Well, they better, because like you said, it's pretty competitive, and you know, not just within the teams, but within the positions, and you better go to work.
Coach, it was an enjoyable time. The 4 years that you were there, I remember when you told me that you were thinking about leaving, and I did everything but beg you to stay, but I did tell you, I said, you got to do what you got to do. And it was a great opportunity for you to get to go home at the time, and it was just a choice that you had to make. But again, 4 years in this 25-year playoff run, a part of history. Your name's on the board out front. We've shown that here on the show, and but we appreciate your service that you gave to the Newport Greyhounds. It was a great run. There were some great wins. There were some great times, and more importantly, I appreciate your friendship. I say, you know, you lived right across the street from us, and the boys and our boys growing up together, and Grant, Will, and White, and playing in the yard, and playing basketball, and collecting frogs. And
it flies by.
It flies by. It's just about gone. But I appreciate you so much for your contribution, not only to the show, but what you did for our kids and our community.
Well, I appreciate it, and I tell you what, it wasn't Newport, the people made it easy,
right.
And it's a great place, and I wish them the best. And you know, the passion needs to continue to stay there, because there's a lot of tradition
yes,
there,
sir.
And there's a lot of great expectations, and that's where you want to be.
Mark Watley, 4-year run. Ended his coaching career at Newport, but this guy's still doing it, doing strong with the Springdale Bulldogs in Springdale, Arkansas. My friend, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
what a pleasure it is to have my tag team partner, Randy Klepeska, with us on this segment here on this show. And Randy C., we've been together a long time, and boy, I appreciate you joining us.
Great to be here, David. I guess 16 years we've been together now, and, obviously for playoffs every year, so it's great to talk about it.
Randy C. is setting in for Coach Greg Brannon, and we're going to talk about the 6-year stint that Coach Brannon had here. He was unavailable at film time, but Randy C., 41-31 record. You mentioned 6-6 in the playoffs, and a pretty successful run for the Hounds during his time.
Boy, it was a great run, David. Of course, we were really into this because our kids were playing on these teams, but just a great run, especially when you get into 06 through 08. Just one of the great runs since I've been in Newport, absolutely.
Well, and Coach Brannon elevated from the junior high staff, comes in trying to sell the kids, trying to sell a new program. He replaced Coach Watley and trying to bringing back some Greyhound tradition and hope the kids that would buy in. When we look back on Coach Brannon's tenure, you have to look at that very first year and go, boy, we had a murderous start. I mean, our non-conference schedule was real tough. Sylvan Hills, Marion, and Batesville. We go 0-3. We finally win a conference game. We end up the year 6-6. We go to the playoffs. Tell us a little bit about what you remember about the year.
Well, I mean, just remember it being tough getting started, like you said, and it kind of got better as the season went. And then the playoffs, we went to Farmington, the long trip to Farmington up there, and they had this highly touted quarterback. I remember a real tall kid, and I remember us putting pressure on him all night and winning that game 24-7. Quentin Alcorn was our big running back on that team. I remember us feeding Quentin all night long and just really feeling good. I always kind of enjoyed those road trips, where you win playoff games, and so that was a big game for us right there. Then we had to go down to CAC, and CAC was tough, just like typical CAC teams, and they beat us 42-7.
You know what I remember most about the CAC game is we got the video upstairs, and we were right by that speaker, the public address speaker, loud in our ears, and it just kept ringing it different 3 or 4 days after that. Tough loss for the Hounds, but a pretty successful start for Coach Brannon.
Absolutely, just getting keeping that playoff streak alive and getting that victory. That was a tough one at CAC, but still, overall a successful season with that playoff win.
And what's really dear to our hearts, the 06, 07, and 08 years. And in 06, you look at the thing on paper and you go, the Hounds finished 6-7. But what a playoff run that the Hounds had. I mean, tell us a little bit about that year. It was just a great year for the Hounds.
Well, it was a great year. At the end, it was a great year. It was a tough year throughout. I mean, we were 4-6 in the regular season that year and had to beat Lone Oak to make the playoffs. I remember that Heber Springs game vividly at home, and our crowd was down, and Heber Springs beats us for, I guess, the first time in forever. And we were real. I was, how sick I was after that game. We had to go to Lone Oak to make the playoffs, and had to win it. Yeah, it was winner or go home, and boy, Lone Oak was supposed to have a real good football team. We went down there, and lo and behold, we had them 41-0 at halftime, the Mercy rule in effect. So that really started a good run.
And Randy, we get in the playoffs, and boy, we're dreading. We're thinking about we got to go on the road to Pine Bluff. Got to play Dollarway. Hadn't had a lot of success traditionally down there looking at the Dollarway game, but boy, we had some success finally against the Dollarway Cardinals.
Yeah, it was a great run. It really started things. We beat them 12-8, and just a great football game. Our defense just kept stopping. The thing I remember about that game was all the chest bumping that was going on. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yes, I do remember.
And I remember they called some flags on us on that, I think. But we were chest bumping all night long there, and I remember that forever about that football game.
Win that game, then we have to go on the road to play Pocahontas, a football team that had defeated the Greyhounds 46-21 the first game of the year. Pocahontas was favored. Tell us what happened.
Absolutely, 46-21 in that first game. We went up there and we had a good feeling because of that Dollarway game that we would. We would play them much better at Pocahontas up there, and we win that game 36-32. I remember we were down, I think, 29-14 at halftime, and I remember being sick because I thought we're not going to come back and beat this football team. But so many great plays in the second half of that game, and we come back and win 36-32.
Lose the next week to Fordyce in a 13-12 game. Of course, you either lose that last game of the year in the playoffs or you win a state championship. So we're all disappointed when you lose. But boy, we look to the next year, and great things are supposed to happen for the Greyhounds. We had a lot of kids coming back, and the Hounds put it together in 07.
A great season, undefeated season. We thought we had a chance to win a state championship. Some great victories in that over Stuttgart, and another great victories in that season. Of course, we beat Batesville that year 10-7 or 17-10, I think. So a lot of great victories in that season. It was just a tremendous season with a letdown in the playoffs.
Speaking of the Stuttgart game, 3 plays in the game, and Ben Black's involved in 3 of these plays. So is Edward Pruitt. The very first one is Edward makes a tremendous play, but we wanted to show those when we take a break. break, show these 3 plays. And what made these plays so important is that we were up 7-0 right before the half, and we go in and score on this drive, make it 14-0, and the Hounds never look back. Let's look at those plays right now.
Edwards going to throw it, and boy, he's in deep trouble, and he throws it out to Ben Black. Ben's got some room. Ben 50, 45, Ben Black. Look at Ben running over the defender at the 43, and that gets the crowd on their feet. Timeout, guys. Call a timeout. Edwards going to throw it. He's got plenty of time this time. Edwards throws. He's got Ben. It's called by Ben Black inside the 10-5. He's down at the 2-yard line. What a play to the tight end. Edwards going to throw it. He's got Ben Black. Touchdown, Ben Black. Touchdown, Ben Black. Edward Pruitt to Ben Black, the little tight end delay across the middle. 12-0 Newport.
Randy, of course, we talked about me being able to breathe or feel my heart beating during the game, and it was an exciting time, not only for the Newport Greyhounds, but it was an exciting time for the David Black family.
Right, it was just a great football game. Of course, Ben was involved, and a lot of that involved Seth Allison.
Absolutely.
Allison family that has such a great athletic name in Northeast Arkansas. Seth went on to UCA and everything, so that just made it that much more special, I think.
Undefeated football team that beat Batesville in a classic battle. You get into the playoffs, thought you had a chance to win it all. Tough loss against Dumas.
Oh, it was really tough. 51-48, and it was, you thought the last team that gets a football was going to win that football game, and we got it last, but we couldn't quite take it. I thought we'd go down there and score in that last minute, and we just couldn't do it. But Kendall Council from Dumas, the quarterback, and he just ran over us all night long. They also had Darian Griswold on that team as a ninth grader. He's now a 2-sport athlete at ASU. So, a team with a lot of talent, and it was just an offensive battle.
Well, in 08, we come back, and we don't know how we're going to be. We thought we'd be pretty good defensively. Wasn't quite sure offensively. Had to replace a lot of guys. Hey, 08 is one of those years when you look back, and I want to show a play right now before we talk about anything else. I wanted to show you the play against Ball Knob in the first round of the playoffs. Galen Brown tackling the quarterback. Ball Knob fumbling the football, and Thamel Morgan picking it up and running in the distance. And had we not had that play, our year would not been nearly as good as what it was. And here's that play right now.
Clay's going to keep it around right side. Galen Brown in the back. Fumble. Newport picked up. He's going to go score. Thamel Morgan, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Newport, Thamel Morgan.
Randy, great play, tremendous play. You don't make that play, you finish 7-4 because Ball Knob was fixing to run out the clock, but it's one of the big plays in our playoff history.
Yeah, they were just driving down the field, and all of a sudden that play comes out of nowhere. And I remember me and you almost kind of arguing about it. You said we were lucky, and I said we made a play. It was really a little bit of both there, Absolutely. But it was a tremendous play that propelled us into a great playoff run. Yeah,
we got a great playoff run and finished the year 10-4. So importantly, after the Ball Knob game, got to go on the road to play a very, very good Gravette football team. Then we win the football game. Then we have to go on the road to play Heber Springs football. Then we go on the road to play Dollaway. Talk about that playoff run.
Well, it's just a tremendous run. Of course, it takes forever to get to Gravette. You've got to go around the world to get to Gravette. And I remember that they thought they had a good chance to win that football game, but they had a running back that was injured in that game. That helped us a little bit. He was a speedster that got hurt. But our defense just played a great game. We won that game 17-0, and just remember that. And then we went to Heber Springs and beat them 46-14. And finally, Dollaway again, and just a real tough loss in overtime, 24-23. We thought we were going to win that football game. Had a controversial call or two. We thought Corin Pruitt had the 2-point conversion, and they called it no good. Then they get the 2-point conversion in overtime and win it 24-23. Just a real heartbreaker.
Yeah, and people may not remember, but this was in the semifinals. Winner goes to play for a state championship.
Absolutely.
Hands were close.
Yeah, we go. I guess we play Shiloh Christian, don't we? If we win that football game, and I was really thinking we were going to play that game. Nobody gave us a chance. We played them, but with our defensive pressure on the quarterback, who knows what might have happened that year.
Hounds finished 5-6 in 09, in the playoffs, lose a heartbreaker to Stuttgart 28-27 at home. Next year, 2010, go on the road, lose to Boonville 35-7. And just kind of a recap on the 6 years during this time, and a very important 6 years, Randy C. But I'm going to tell you what. Such an honor to be a part of the show and be able to sit down and talk about this with you. And, like you said, 16 years being my tag team partner. 25 years the Hounds have been to the playoffs. It's a remarkable run, a remarkable streak for the Greyhounds.
Absolutely. Just great to be a part of it. We moved here in '88, so I've been part of 24 of those, and hopefully there's 25 more to come.
Folks, we want you to continue to stay here and watch our show. We've got a lot more coming up, and my thanks again to Randy Klepeshka for sitting in for Coach Brannon, and for my tag team partner, David Black, saying there's more of our show coming right up. We continue on with our program here on Cable Channel 15 and on the World Wide Web at cable15tv.com. And 25 years of Greyhound greatness, and we're looking back. And we don't have to look back very far to get that 25th year in there. Coach Jeremy Poole, head football coach, athletic director of the Newport Greyhounds. Coach, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much. It's always an honor and a privilege to be here and get to do these shows with you.
Coach Jeremy Poole, first year here, out of the chute, coming to the Newport Greyhounds. And this is the guy who brought a system in here. First year here, 25th year in the streak. So important to all of us that have been here for a long, long time. Very, very important to you, Coach, to be coaching football, to be a head football coach. You chose Newport, Arkansas, and I know it wasn't the best of years when you look at a one-loss record for your sake, having come from a great winning tradition program into another one, but I know this, it was a pleasure for you guys to be here and bring your system to Newport.
Oh, yes, sir. It was great, and, you know, obviously being from just down the road, you know, I've known about the tradition here at Newport, and it's just great to you know, to be a part of that now. You know, it's very exciting to come back home and like I said, be a part of a tradition like what they have here.
Coach, let's talk just a little bit about your football season. And when you come in here, we were fortunate enough to get you and Coach Harrison in the spring, and you guys were able to, you know, put in some of your system then, so we kind of got an early start. Talk a little bit about, let's talk first a little bit about the non-conference schedule this past year. It's tough, as it always is.
Oh, yes, sir. I mean, you know, first of all, you know, putting in completely new systems and stuff, you know, going from a more of a run-based offense to, you know, throwing the ball around a little bit. And then, you know, Newport, you know, has been traditionally more of a five-front 3-front team and we went into a 4-front. But, you know, I think over time, I think that these, you know, changes are going to be great for us. You know, it's going to be good down the road. You know, we took some lumps early, obviously. Right. You know, we had a very tough non-conference schedule, which, you know, I know, you know, the tradition here at Newport, you know, always play tough teams and, you know, and get you ready for conference play. But like I said, I think that over time, you know, our kids are going to adapt to the system and to the scheme, and it's going to be very good for us.
Coach, looking at, boy, we had to win some football games in the conference, and you know, it's not the first year. We got to looking back in this 25 years and all the research that we did. There were several times over the course of the last 25 years we had to win to get in, and we had to win to get in this year.
Yes, sir, we did. It came down basically to the last 2 games, which you never want it to do that, but. You know, just that's the way it happened this year. You know, hopefully we don't get put in that big of a bind this next year. But, you know, our kids did a great job of stepping up. The kids knew what was on the line, as well as the coaching staff. You know, it was one of the first things that I heard about whenever I came here, which, you know, I already knew about the streak and stuff, but people, you know, like to remind you about it. And that's great. I mean, that pressure makes you work harder.
Absolutely.
And I think it's great. And our kids, you know, toward the end of the season, you know, I think what it was a combination of getting more comfortable with our scheme, but then also, you know, the kids knew what was at stake, and we put together a couple good games there at the end to get in.
Those that you have to do, and you get into the playoffs, and it's just remarkable how I had really forgotten about a lot of the things that had happened down through the years, and Ben and I were talking before the broadcast, and I played on football teams that played for a state championship 40 years ago this coming up year, 40 years ago, and we're just going back 25 years. But boy, it's great history here. Coach, you continue to bring to our program the excellence that we expect, and boy, just I want to congratulate you on a great year getting to the playoffs, because you don't get to the playoffs, we don't do this show, Coach.
Yes, sir. Well, like I said, I just appreciate everyone out there and all their support. I just hope that they continue to support our kids. And like I said, you know, we're in the off season right now. It's going great. The kids are, you know, still learning our system. We practice every week just to keep things, you know, fresh on their mind. And, you know, football today is a lot different. There's really no off season, so to speak. You know, football is year round now, and that's what we're doing here. We're just going to keep it rolling, and things are going to start going really good for us.
Not only is it a 25-year streak, not only is it the longest current streak in the state of Arkansas, it is the longest streak ever for playoffs in the state of Arkansas. 25 years, and Coach Jeremy Poole, the 25th year man at the helm of the Newport Greyhounds. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you.
Is this not unreal? 38-35, and the incredible joy of victory for the Watson Chapel Wildcats, and the unreal dejection of the heartbroken Newport Greyhounds.
At War Memorial tonight, 2 Class AAA heavyweights slugged it out. Camden, Fairview, and Newport. Fairview took a 12-0 record into the game. Newport entered 11-1, and it was all Greyhounds from start to finish. Third quarter action, Newport up 10-0. Elmer McKissick weaving through the Fairview D for 6 tough yards. Just good power football. Johnny Alliston, good read, 5 more yards, and Newport first down. 4th and 1 on the 3. Yes, Newport first down. Couple of plays later, Steve Rucker for 6 more. But the story tonight, the way the guys in orange played defense. Slippery little quarterback for Camden, Doug Marsh, appears to have good running room. Out of nowhere, Elmer McKissick cuts him down with a big hit. A shutout tonight. Camden didn't have a first down in the first half. Your final, Newport advances to the championship game with a 17-0 win.
It's a great challenge for our defensive football team with all their explosive offense. Our defense played great. We knew they could, but they had to come out and prove it. The media all said we were going to lose. We were underdogs. Our kids responded with great effort. Offensively, in the third quarter, we ate the whole quarter up, took it down, and scored. Big ball game for us.
So the Greyhounds trying to make a great goal line stand at the 4-yard line. Will Wynn go for it? 4:55 to go. No sign of a field goal here. They're going to go for it on 4th down. 4th and goal. They spread the offense out. Quarterback rolls to his right. Quarterback's being chased. Quarterback. He did not get anywhere close. The Hounds have held.
The Greyhound Booster Club is proud to announce the creation of the new award. This award winner is the outstanding senior in the homecoming game. He will receive a plaque and a $500 scholarship. This year's recipient of the Bill Keedy Award, named for the greatest Greyhound, is number 16, Grant Black. Presenting the award, Superintendent Larry Bennett and Coach Bill Keedy.
Well, everybody, it's a great honor to have in this segment Coach Bill Keedy. And, a lot of adjectives describe Coach, but first off, just being my friend is one of the very, very best, but legendary and super successful, and Coaches Hall of Fame, and recently inducted into the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. That was a fun night, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and I was representing a whole lot of people and a whole lot of Greyhound football players and fans and coaches, but it was a wonderful weekend for me, and as always, the Newport fans were there supporting me as they have throughout my coaching career, and I know that my family and I, we really appreciate it, Bud. And I know that you were there too, also, you and your family.
Right, and there were hundreds of folks who were either from Newport or had Newport connections that were there at the banquet, and they made the announcement. It was the largest attendance they'd ever had, and the highest percentage of folks were for the Newport Greyhounds there for Bill Keedy. So that's pretty neat.
Well, it was, and again, a lot of wonderful friends there, and former players, and even some from Paragould. I spent a couple of years over there. But some people that I haven't seen in a long time, my former coaches, Don Horton and Bob Ralph, and Bernice Duke was there, Don Hyman. I mean, it was kind of old home week, a bunch of wonderful former Greyhounds, people with connections. Can you recall some other people? I don't want to leave anyone out.
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing to me just to see, to look at the names of the people in the Hall of Fame. I mean, the Larry Lacewells, the Bull Davidsons, the Billy Elleners from Arkansas State, and the Frank Broyles and the Nolan Richardsons, and Eddie Suttons and Kenny Hatfields at the University of Arkansas. My goodness. And many of them still alive and in the Hall of Fame were there to be introduced. And that's just an amazing moment. I told folks, I said, you'll never again in your life be under one roof with all these many sports celebrities.
It was something.
It just.
And what about all the coaches that I've coached against? A lot of the guys that I saw there, and fellas that I've coached with. And anyway, it was really a wonderful time to represent Newport and the Greyhound football program. And I have been blessed to be a part of that for 19 years as the head Greyhound coach. And we're going to talk about some of that in a minute.
It was a blast. There was no doubt about it. And we're talking about the playoffs and our playoff string of 25 straight. Before I go any further, folks are looking at me and saying, what in the world happened to Bud? Y'all probably heard around town by now that I took a terrible fall early February and hit the floor face on at home and double black eyes and all of this stuff, but hopefully I don't feel bad.
Well,
I just look like I run into an Osceola linebacker.
Well, I was going to say you look like Steve Rucker or Tony Bubba Phillips just ran right over you. Or Monty Kane tackled you.
That could be. Yeah. That could be. Or the hitman got there in a hurry.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. But the streak started in '87. But, Bill, what folks may not remember, a couple of things. We're not only 25 in a row, 33 of the last 34.
Well, that's remarkable. And, Bud, when I got to Newport my first year here, our goal was to win the conference championship so we could go to the playoffs. And back then, only the winner of the conference got to go. You didn't have a runner-up or three or four teams.
we lost in overtime to Pocahontas. They went undefeated in regular season that year out here at Greyhound Field and didn't make it. And then the next year, we won the conference, and then after that, boy, did we ever take off. But you're right.
And then the Activity Association made it a lot easier for a while. They let the top 2 teams go. You're not top 4 or 5, top 2 from each region. So you had to be pretty good.
You had to be real good.
Playoffs.
Yeah, you, Bud, were around and with the newspaper and with the radio and with the television, and you saw the competition that Newport had to go against, and it was top-notch opponents. And again, it was a great streak, one that I think the entire community of Newport rallied around. I know how much pride that our students at Newport School, the teachers, the administrators, the school board, the community as a whole, I think everyone had that pride about Greyhound football. And if the kids, once they left Newport, whether it was to go to the Army or to college or just to go work, if it was in the state of Arkansas, it was about Newport football. Someone would say, well, those Greyhounds, they really have a good football program, and I think our people, that pride carried over and has throughout their lifetime. We've got people right now, Bud, and you know that played 30, 40 years ago, and they still take great pride in being a Greyhound football player.
No doubt about it, sir. And we're talking about the playoffs, which started in '87, the streak of 25 in a row, which is historic. Nobody in the history of the playoffs has been there 25 straight years. And we've had some great plays. And under the Keedy regime from '87 through '95, this, what you're about to see, is probably the most memorable play. Now, we're not showing the '81 championship game because it's before the streak. But this is War Memorial Stadium, 1991 against Lake Hamilton. And Bill and I are doing a voiceover description that we did later on of this play. This is Tony Bubba Phillips breaking loose for 55 yards, and at the time, the only points in the game and the points that won the 1991 state championship. Have a look. Here we go. Top of the screen. Tall sweep. Look at the blockers in front. Boom, boom, boom. Tony Phillips busted right there. All the way. 55 yards for the touchdown that we didn't know at the time, but that's the touchdown that won the 1991 state championship. Look at the crowd. Listen to them. Listen to them. We had some great exciting games against Wynn, against Osceola down through the years. But, Bill, your final victory was 1995 at Malvern in the playoffs. And we're going to show you several things here in a row. First, what we call Hully Gully big screen that went for a touchdown, got us back in the game late in the game. A fumble by Malvern, we recovered it, and I'm so excited. You'll love my description about pickpockets. And be sure and notice the crowd and how many of them are there from Newport, and they're just absolutely going nuts. And then at the last segment, there will be a bunch of young guys named David, Bud, and Ben Black. Who are those guys anyway? Up in the press box, probably about as excited as we've ever been. Watch these.
With 11:15 to go in the game. Henderson fakes the reverse to Tim Brown. Screen pass to Robinson this side. Renard gets a block. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. The Hounds are back in it. The 39-yard pass to Renard Robinson, and just like that, the Greyhounds strike back.
44 seconds it took the Hounds to score. The Hounds drive it down the field, and they're back in it. Come on, Greyhounds.
The 8-yarder. 21-15 Malvern. They've got the ball at their 40. The tailback off tackle gets 3 or 4, breaks a tackle, has a gain of 4, ball pop free. Fumble. Newport says they've got it. Newport says they've got it. The Hounds have the ball. Newport recovers at the 45-yard line of Malvern with 10:52 to go, down by 6. Look at the fans. Look at the top of your screen. You wouldn't have to pickpocket anybody. They'd give you their billfold right now.
This is incredible. This is just literally incredible. When the kid made the long run and made it 21-8, my heart fell out. I really thought the ball game was over. I knew we were come back and score again, but I thought there was going to be too much. The Hounds scored 20 unanswered points, win the football game. But this is what this whole game's all about. Go Hounds, go.
Golly, can y'all believe this? This is just simply sensational.
28-21, the Hounds win it. And here's my buddy coming into the screen. What about Renard and all those touchdowns?
Say, go Hounds.
Go Hounds!
Atta boy, that's Ben Black, famous Ben Black of the Riverboat Trader.
Ball game's over, Hounds win, and next week, I don't know, I don't think it mattered much next week that we lost to Washington Chapel because I never had a game, including 2 state championship games, that felt more like a state championship game than the 95 win at Malvern. It was everything and more a high school football game should be.
Well, you talked about the Hully Gully screen pass, and we'd put a play in during the year, Hully Gully reverse. And so we decided, okay, we know that Malvern has seen that play, so why don't we run a Hully Gully reverse and then throw the screen pass off of it? They haven't seen that, and boy, did it ever work. But that was an exciting time. We had to come from behind, and I know it looked pretty bleak there for a while, and then all of a sudden, the fourth quarter, those Greyhounds played like Greyhounds.
Well, as we said, just a fabulous victory. At the time, none of us knew it was going to be the final Bill Keady victory. Now let's ask you, did you know at that time that you were going to step down, or did you wait till after the season was over? Or and folks that don't know, Bill had a heart attack and has had a couple of other events since then. So, you know, his doctors told him to get off the sideline. It's a good thing you did. He wouldn't be sitting here probably, you know.
Well, really, I didn't know. At that time, you know, I probably thought that I might try to coach another year or several years. Okay. And I understand and realize that the next week when we lost, it took a lot out of me. And, you know, I thought about my family and about my health, and I didn't make a decision right away. But if you'll remember, I came to you and told you.
Came to my house.
Yeah, and said, okay, we can put it on the air if you want to, because I think, I said, I'm going to retire. And I made sure that I talked to our coaches before that, and then you, and then went to the school board, and before we had it on the air.
But I was shaken to the core.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you know, and I still miss being a football coach. I think you know, I loved it, but it was the thing to do, and so it was tough at the time, but it was the thing to do. And again, all I'm looking back towards, or look back upon the 19 years that I was out there on the field as a Greyhound coach, and I just try to reflect back on that and how much I enjoyed those years.
I don't think when you took that job as a young 30-year-old that people could ever have anticipated, or even you have anticipated, the success. I know you said, well, I can come here and against Wynn and Osceola and Rivercrest and those people, and I might fool around and win a conference championship or two along the way, and we might get back to being pretty good. But my goodness, Bill, all those appearances in the state semifinals and the finals, and winning 2 state championships and going to the playoffs all those years, and you never losing to Batesville, that's a pretty good resume to hang on the wall.
Well, you know, and at the time, you know, to be honest, no, I didn't realize and didn't, you know, really feel like that was something that we had to do. Right. But when I came home, I wanted to be a successful football coach. I wanted our players to have the opportunity to feel, you know, that feeling of success. And so each year we started out in 2-a-day practices talking about being the conference champions. And there were years, you know, that our coaching staff would talk to each other and we'd say, this one's going to be hard. We may not have quite the talent that, you know, we had the last couple of years, but because of the hard work of those guys, the coaches and the community, and especially the players with the desire to succeed, we were able to accomplish a lot of great things.
Well, get your tissues out, folks, because we're going to show you a couple other clips before we wrap up this segment with Coach Keady. And one is Coach Keady at the All Sports Banquet. And he also was honored for his years of service, and tons of Newport folks there, and Paragould people came over for that. And here's some of Coach's speech, and also right after that, something that I had to say about Coach. I think if you're like us, you'll find it tugs at you pretty much.
All of you people here, it has been certainly a privilege for me but no, I'm going to make it. It's been such a privilege for me to have been your coach. It's been fun. I think I'm the person, you know, who has been rewarded by having all of you young ladies and young men out here with me throughout the years, the great coaches. Coach Keppel will not be able to be here. He called in. He wanted to be here very badly. He is inheriting a wonderful staff, and he's going to be blessed with having all of you people here to support him, and how special you have been to me, my family. And speaking of my family, thank you so much for all of your help putting up with me throughout the years. You have meant so very much to me, and will always, and in the tough times you were always there. And Jennifer, we know everyone here how very much you have meant to me and the Greyhounds. You know, sacked the quarterback. They'll never forget that. We sacked him a few times too. Thank all of you again. I'm flabbergasted with these gifts. I can't get over it. And again, for all of you seniors, in closing, I hope that this has not interrupted your hour of honor, because you're the kids that have made all the things possible. Every year there's a new senior class, and I have been blessed to have had 26 of them. And every year it's a special class of young men and young women. And so remember what you've heard here. Never forget your friends. In time of need, pick up the phone and call them. If you ever need me for any reason whatsoever, pick up the phone and holler at me. That's what we're here for. That's why we do this. That's why coaches are coaches. We want to be there for you. And in return, you have always been there for us. And bless your hearts. It has given me a wonderful, wonderful coaching career, one that I will never, ever forget. The memories I will cherish forever and ever. Go Hounds, beat Batesville.
With one special moment I want to talk about. And give me just a second to do this. The lowest moment I ever experienced as a Newport Greyhound football fan was in 1989 in War Memorial Stadium in the dressing room after a football game that we lost to Dollarway 7-3. We had a better football team. We outstatted them. We outplayed them. They got the biggest break ever in a high school football game and won the game closing second 7-3. It was in that dressing room Coach Kenny Black and Coach Keating and I said after everybody got on the bus, and we were all crying, and Coach Keating said, I have let everybody down. I've let my team down. I've let my community down. Bill, I hope every coach lets us down the way you have. Thank you, my friend.
So football goes on.
You bet.
And it's fun to go out and support the Greyhounds. Of course, Coach Keating is the color voice of A-State Nation, the Red Wolves, and my goodness, I mean, I looked around the other day and said, you've done that for 12 years or something.
That's
said,
right.
It can't be. Just started last week, you know. It just
well, Bud,
flies when you're old guys like us.
I'm telling you, but what'd you just say? Life goes on. The Greyhound streak goes on.
Right.
Well, you know, the last few years, this football team over here, the Hounds, shown that pride that we were talking about back when I was a coach. They continue to be successful and make it to the playoffs. Let's hope that this next year will be a playoff year also.
You're watching 25 years of playoff greatness here on Cable 15. And our special thanks always to Coach Bill Keating, who takes the time out of his busy schedule from going over to rehab and getting out there and walking and taking care of his heart all the time to stop in and visit with us.
Well, folks, you know, this fall, good Lord willing, we'll start our 19th season of Newport Greyhound football on cable TV. And when we did the first year, we actually thought, well, we just tried for a year and see how it goes and see how it works. And my goodness, here we are all this time later, a generation later, and we're still honored to be able to sit in that press box and be a part of the Greyhound broadcast. Our most sincere congratulations to all of the Hound players and coaches and all the support groups, and even you, all of the fans who have made it such a tremendous ride over this long period of time. And you young people, and now some of you now middle-aged, your accomplishments are unparalleled in the Arkansas sports record books. 25 consecutive years in the playoffs, something that we all should be proud of. And we certainly are here at Cable 15 TV. What a pleasure to be a part of this show. We thank you all for watching. On behalf of every one of us here at Cable 15 TV who had a part in bringing you this program, and all the people that were involved and all the people that it represents, I'm Bud Black. Thanks for watching, and so long for now, and go Hounds.